Hello. My name is Super Camping. This is a creepypasta that at least 2 or 3 people have recommended to me. And I saw a picture of it. I'm really anxious and scared to read this. I heard it was very, very creepy. Actually, I have the news on, so before I start, I'm going to turn it to Nickelodeon. Let's see what's on Nickelodeon at 6:30. You guys know? I think it's SpongeBob. What did I tell you? Okay, if you can hear it, sorry. But I have to keep this on, because these episodes on TV, they're so innocent. They have to be like this. They have to do this while I'm reading this. I have not looked through it. I'm not sure if there's a picture of the smile dog, but I know that it's real. I've seen it. It's pretty disturbing. Let's get right into it. Smile Dog. Smile Dog's story consists of a classic horror setup. An amateur writer visits the house of a lady who supposedly has a story which he can borrow from. Rather than speak, however, the lady has locked herself up in a room, crying and ranting about nightmares and visions and various other problems. All of these center around a floppy disk that she has been given that contain the image smile.jpg, which is smile.dog. Other cases of this have cropped up. Viewing this image incites insanity, and no copy of the exact image exists on the web through the likeness of it due. The true image of smile.jpg is recognized due to the effect it has on the viewer, that is, they wind up dead. Attaching the file, that is, spreading the word, is the only way to save oneself from the smile.dog. That appears in smile.dog that appears in one's dreams demanding to spread the word. Some say that the original legend began with an image of the devil. So there's the actual pasta. This is just the intro, because I know big ones like this have the intro and everything. I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. I had arranged with her husband of 15 years, Terrence, to see her for an interview. Mary had initially agreed, since I was not a newsman but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments and, if all went according to plan, some pieces of fiction. We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business, but at the last moment Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the comfortable bedroom, refusing to meet with me. For a half an hour I sat with Terrence as we camped outside the bedroom door, listening and talking, taking notes as we attempted fruitlessly to calm his wife. The things Mary said made a little sense but fit with the pattern I was expecting. I'm sorry, I just heard a freaking noise. I'm so scared. I'm up in my room and sister's downstairs doing homework. My mom is watching TV, so there shouldn't be many noises. Though I could not see her, I could tell from her voice that she was crying, and more often than not her objections to speaking with me centered around incoherent diatribe on her dreams, her nightmares. My dog's breathing really loudly, too. He's like asleep with his eyes open. Terrence apologized profusely when we ceased the exercise. I did my best to take it in all stride. Recall that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information. Besides, I thought at the time I could perhaps find another similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Mary E. was the CISOP for a small Chicago-based bulletin board system in 1992 when she first encountered Smile.jpg. And her life changed forever. She said Terrence had only been married for 5 months. She and Terrence. I thought she said. Okay. Mary was one of the estimated 400 people who saw this image when it was posted as a hyperlink on the BBS, though she thought it was the only one spoken openly about the experience. The rest have remained anonymous or are perhaps dead. In 2005, when I was only in 10th grade, Smile.jpg was first brought to my attention by my burgeoning interest in web-based phenomena. Mary was the most often cited as a victim, which is sometimes referred to as Smile.dog. The being Smile.jpg is reputed to display. What caught my interest, other than the obvious macabre elements of cyber legends that led proclivity toward such things, was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it, even other than as a rumor. Bleh, was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it even exists other than as a rumor or hoax. Sorry. I'm, can you tell I'm cold or nervous or something? It's unique because through the entire phenomenon centers a picture's file. The file is nowhere to be found on the internet. Certainly many photo-manipulated simulacra litter on the web, showing up with the most frequency on sites such as the image board 4chan, particularly the X-focused paranormal subboard. It is suspected these are fakes because they do not have the effect as the true smile.jpg is believed to have, namely sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. This purported reaction in the viewer is one of the reasons the phantom-like smile.jpg is regarded with such disdain, since it is patently absurd, though depending on whom you ask, reluctant to acknowledge smile.jpg's existence might be such as much out of fear as it is out of disbelief. Neither smile.jpg nor smiledog is mentioned anywhere in Wikipedia, though a website features articles on such other perhaps more scandalous shock sites as hello.jpg or Two Girls One Cup. I have to read that. I'm going to read that later tonight too. Two Girls One Cup. I think that's on this. Any attempt to create a page pertaining to smile.jpg is summarily deleted by any of the encyclopedia's many admins. Encounters with smile.jpg are the stuff of internet legend. Mary E's story is not unique. There are unverified rumors of smile.jpg showing up in the early days of Usenet, and even one persistent tale that in 2002 a hacker flooded the forums with a rumor and satire website Something Awful with a deluge smile dog pictures, rendering almost half the forum's users at the time epileptic. It is also said that in the mid to late 90s that smile.jpg circulated on Usenet and attached chain of emails which subject line "Smile, God loves you." Yet despite the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are very few people who admit to have experienced any of them with no trace of the file or any link that's ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen smile.jpg often weakly joke that they were far too busy to save a copy of the picture to their hard drive. However, all alleged victims offer the same description of the photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as appearing similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by the flash of the camera, sits in a dim room, the only background detail that is visible being of a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but it's usually described as beckoning. Of course, most attention is given to the dog or dog creature, as some victims are more certain than others about what they have claimed to see. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split in a wide grin, revealing 2 rows of very white, very straight, very sharp teeth, very human-looking teeth. Jeff the Killer's dog, everybody. It's his dog. It's his. It's not your. It's his dog. This is, of course, not a description given immediately after viewing the picture, but rather a recollection of the victims who claim to have seen the picture endlessly repeated in their mind's eye during the time. They are in reality having epileptic fits. These fits are reported to continue indeterminably, often while victims sleep, resulting in very vivid and disturbing nightmares. These may be treated with medication, though in some cases it was more effective than others. Mary E., I assumed, was not an effective medication. This is why, after my visit to apartment in 2007, I sent out feelers in several folklore and urban legend-oriented groups, websites, and mailing lists, hoping to find the name of the supposed victim of smile.jpg who felt more interested in talking about his experiment. For a time, nothing happened, and at length I completely forgot about my pursuit since I had begun my freshman year of college and was quite busy. Mary contacted me via email, however, near the beginning of March 2008. And actually, right, yeah. I like how they do the because it's obviously... Ooh, wait a second. Live.com. um, AOL. No, that's .com. Verizon. I don't know, but I can easily figure out. Okay, I'm incredibly sorry about my behavior last summer when you came to interview me. I hope you understand it was no fault of yours, but rather my own problems that led me to act out as I did. I realize that I could have handled the situation more decorously. However, I hope you will forgive me. At the time, I was afraid. You see, for 15 years I have been haunted by Smile.jpg. Smile Dog comes to me in my sleep every night. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. There's an ineffable quality about my dreams, my nightmares, that makes them completely unlike any real dreams I have ever had. I do not move and do not speak. I simply look ahead, and the only thing ahead of me is the scene from that horrible picture. I see the beckoning hand. I see the Smile Dog. It talks to me. It's not a dog, of course, though I'm not quite sure what it really is. It tells me that it must leave me alone. It will leave me alone if I only do if only I do what as it asks. All I must do, it says, is spread the word, and that's how it phrases its demands. I know exactly what this means. It wants me to show it to someone else, and I could. The week after my incidents, I received in the mail a Milana envelope with no return address. Inside was only a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Without having to check, I knew precisely what was on it. I thought for a long time about my options. I could show it to a stranger, a co-worker. I could even show it to Terrence, as much as the idea disgusted me. And what would happen then? Well, if Smile Dog kept its word, I could sleep. Yet if it lied, what would I do? Who was to say something worse would not come from me after I did as the creature asked? So I did nothing for 15 years, though I kept my diskette hidden amongst my things. Every night for 15 years, Smile Dog has come to me in my sleep and demanded that I spread the word. For 15 years I have stood strong, though there have been many hard times. Many of my fellow victims on the BBS board where I first encountered Smile.jpg stopped posting. I heard some of them committed suicide. Others remained completely silent, simply disappearing off the face of the web. They are the ones that I worry about the most. I sincerely hope you will forgive me, Mr. L, but last summer when you contacted me and my husband about an interview, I was near the breaking point. I decided I was going to give you the floppy diskette. I did not care if Smile that dog was lying. Sorry, my dog just shook. Was lying or not, I wanted it to end. You were a stranger, someone who I had no connection with. I thought I would not feel sorrow when you took the diskette as part of your research and sealed your fate. Before you arrived, I realized what I was doing was plotting to ruin your life. I could not stand the thought, and in fact, I still cannot. I am ashamed, Mr. L, and I hope this warning will dissuade you from further investigation of Smile.jpg. You may in time encounter someone who is, if not weaker than I, then wholly more depraved, someone who will not hesitate to follow Smile Dog's orders. Stop while you are still whole. Sincerely, Mary E. Terrence contacted me later that month with news that his wife had killed herself. While she's been cleaning up various things she's left behind, closing email accounts and the like, he happened upon above the message. He was a man in shambles. He wept as he told me to listen to his wife's advice. He found the diskette he revealed and burned it until there was nothing but a stinking pile of blackened plastic. The part that most disturbing, however, is how the diskette had hissed as it melted. It's like some sort of animal, he said. I will admit that I was a little uncertain on how to respond to this. At first I thought perhaps it was a joke, with a couple belatedly playing with the situation in order to get a rise out of me. A quick check of several Chicago newspapers' online my dog is being really weird. Obituaries, however, proved that Mary E. was indeed dead. There was, of course, no mention of suicide in the article. I decided that, for a time at least, I would not further pursue the subject of Smile.jpg, especially since I had finals coming up by the end of that May. But the world has odd ways of testing us. Almost a full year after I'd returned from my disastrous interview with Mary E., I received another email. Hello, I found your email address through a mailing list of your profile and said that you were interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it and it's not as bad as everyone says it is, and I have sent it to you here. just spreading the word. Smiley face. The final line chilled me the bone. According to my email client, there was one file attached. Naturally, SmileJet JPG. I considered downloading it for some time. It was most likely a fake, I had imagined, even if it weren't, I was never wholly convinced of Smile.jpg's peculiar powers. Oh, Sam. Mary E's account had shaken me, yes, but she was probably mentally unbalanced anyway. After all, how could a simple image of Smile do what Smile.jpg was said to accomplish? I'm just gonna call it Smile. Drop my friggin' iPod. I'm such an idiot. Okay, I'm just gonna call it Smile. What sort of creature was it that could break one's mind with only the power over the eye? And if such things were patently absurd, why did the legend exist at all? If I downloaded the image, if I looked at it, and if Mary turned out to be correct, if Smile Dog came to me in my dreams demanding I spread the word, what would I do? Would I live my life as Mary had, fighting against the urge to give in until I died? Or I simply spread the word, eager to be put to rest? And if I chose the latter route, would I do it? How would I do it? Whom would I burden it turn to? I bet he meant. If I went through my earlier intention to write a short article about Smile, I decided I could attach it as evidence, and anyone who read the article, anyone who took interest would be affected. And even assuming that the smile attached to it was genuine, would I be capricious enough to save myself in that matter? Could I spread the word? Yes, I could. Okay, so I'm glad that there wasn't any pictures of it. I do not want to spread the word. I do not want Smile Dog to come to me in my dreams. And that's it. That's the end. I don't want that. There was a few grammar issues in this. Not much though. Not much to complain about. This is a pretty creepy pasta. I'm glad I didn't go insane. I hope I don't go insane. I'll make another video maybe tomorrow if I have a dream about Smile Dog. 'Cause I did see the image of it. He's in my brain. He's not haunting me. He's not scaring me because I know even if he is real, it's probably just a mask or something. But for now, here we go. That's it. That's a really, really good one. I like this one. I'll do another one tonight or maybe tomorrow. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.